All right, so I decided to kind of show you guys what I'm working on, and um so I went back and forth with what to do with this French market fabric, and you can see in my little basket here I've already gotten out the 10-inch squares I had, and I already made something with them. Um, and I have two jelly rolls, and I decided to get one of these out and open it up. Whoop, there it goes. So I have one of these that I am unrolling because I have a really cool idea that has probably been done before, but I was sick this week. Let me just shake this off. They get really, really. What am I trying to say, guys? Oh, well, whatever. Anyways, here they are. Oh, there's so many. They're big mess. Oh, I need to close my window. Hold on. Let's see. The shadows really get a little weird. Anyway, so here's my big mess of stuff. And I just want to show you what I've been doing, and just like a little bonus. So I was sick this week, and I keep having to grab more things from behind me on my sewing machine. Anyway, so I got a little bit into slow stitching. And yes, I know I slow stitch all the time because I am a hand quilter and I like to hand piece. So, I'm always slow stitching in quotes. Put the quotes over there. There we go. But the slow stitching I'm talking about is different. Oh, I left my other book downstairs. Anyways, so there's so many different ways to slow stitch. And I got a little inspired by a few different YouTubers I was watching this weekend. And I'm also really into embroidery right now. And so I bought this book, 200 Essential Embroidery Stitches, and it goes through and it just shows you like how to, I'm not in a good spot here, there we go. It just shows you how to do different stitches and gives you some photos of examples. And I think there's a couple more books I might get. They're on my list. But this book is going to be invaluable. There's a lot that's hard to find on YouTube if you don't know what the stitches are called. So, yeah, this will be really good. I've already used it. And then I have my threads. I had to get some matching ones. And so what I did to organize them was I took them off their little hank. I mean, I don't know what you call these, but like in knitting, that would be more like a hank. Anyways, then I numbered them with their number, and I'm only using DMC. I'm not using any store brands or anything. And I like these so much better than the pearl cotton. I know a lot of people like the pearl cotton. I think some people call it pearl because there's an E on the end. And I like it for the quilts I'm making, but I don't like it for this project. I like the little shine that the DMC thread gives you. Anyways, so yeah, I decided to do a project. So I'm kind of just doing whatever I want. as long as it's some kind of slow stitching. So I have a little tin. Sorry, my ring light's gonna show on shiny things. I have some buttons in my tin. I don't have a big button collection. I need to build it, but I had gotten some themed, like this says I Heart Paris, that says Paris. Oh, that says Paris. Some of these just looked like they belong. This one has a little sewing machine. These butterflies and flowers don't really match, but like this one flower does. But that's, maybe I could use this flower and maybe a butterfly, but the butterflies don't really match. I'm kind of bummed about that, but there's like no purple at all in this. So I have that. I have not gotten all my ribbon out, but I do have one, which I have not used yet, but I figure I might use it at some point. So there's that. I have a couple others that'll match. I just have some needles here, but I'm not really using this case, but I started using it, and you know, I just keep it in here because I do have more embroidery needles in there. I just got this, and this is thimble tape, and it's actually really helpful for embroidery. I would not use this to quilt a quilt, but this has really helped to just like push that needle through without having to use a full thimble. I love this stuff. Big fan. And then I have some beads that I've had for a long time. I actually do have a ton more beads, but I only got these out. And this is a little tin to put them in when I'm using them so they don't get lost. I got some small fabric scissors just so I don't have to keep my big ones. I have some just cheap thread. It's cotton. It's Sewology, 100% cotton. It's 50. What is 50/2? 2 ply, 50 weight, I think. So I just, you know, cheap thread. Then I have a couple pin or clippies in here, which they probably shouldn't be in the basket. Marking pen, and then I have this from Mr. Pen that marks on like anything. So this will mark on the plastic bobbins for the thread. And so I have that in there. Embroidery scissors, and then just all my fabrics. And then I have these 10-inch squares. So I had bought 10-inch squares for another quilting project, and I accidentally ordered 2 of the Bella Solids 10-inch squares, and these are, oh, I'm sorry, it's a junior layer cake, so it's 20 squares, which probably won't be enough, but yeah, that would be 4 by 5, and these are 10-inch, 10, 20, 30, 40. Take off a few inches for seam allowances to join, and yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get another one, or just use the ones I already have and then buy different ones when I get to that quilt, which is fine too. That's the color. I have no idea. There's no like color name that I can see. And the fabric is French Market by Jara Brandvig for Maywood Studio. And so I really don't know what I'm doing. I know I want to do some kind of, oh, wait, first, let me show you what I made already. And then I'll tell you what I'm going to work on now. So let me just kind of put this stuff back in here. And and I just throw all that stuff in there. And then I do have a pin cushion. I picked this up. I don't like making pin cushions. Like, I'm not that person who makes pin cushions, and maybe I will someday, but I just don't. And so I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. And instead of threading and rethreading, I've just been sticking them in with the thread on them. I have so many embroidery needles, like, I'm not worried about it. I have tons more, so it is what it is. Okay, so what I made, the first thing I made was a little butterfly. Isn't that so cute? Now, I'm not putting wire antenna on because I'm going to sew this to the quilt. And so I'm just going to set that aside because I started with Crazy Quilt. And so I took one square and I did whatever I felt like doing. So I tacked down a bunch of different cuts. I just cut randomly into the 10-inch squares, tacked them down, and then I just started sewing and doing embroidery. So if we start, I'm not finished this. I just don't know what to do next. So I made some yo-yos and put those on, and then did some stem stitch, and then whatever this is called around it. And then I did that. This is really, it's kind of hard to see. Did some French knots there. I appliqued some leaves on. You can't see the stem when it's far away, but that's okay. And then I put a button on as a flower. And I just kind of did stuff. This is a new stitch to me. I forget what it's called, but that was really fun. It stands out. I'm not sure I love it, but it's okay. I forget what all these are called. I'll learn them eventually. And then I just made a little, it's not like a flower, but it's not leaves. I'm just not sure what it was that I was trying to do there, but I was trying to do something. So it is what it is, and I don't know what it is. And then I did this down here and just put some pink and red French knots, so it looks like roses. I'm not fond of this. I may actually take this out and redo it because I really don't like this, but I might also leave it because that was my first time doing this. And then I made little bead flowers. So I took some seed beads and I tacked those down, and then I put a French knot in the center, and then little leaves. And so that's what I've been doing. It's been so much fun. And so I was like, well, do I want to keep doing this? Or I couldn't make up my mind what to do with these, and it was between a log cabin, a trip around the world, a rail fence, and I thought, well, I'll just make them all. So that's what I'm doing. I am making whatever I want, whenever I want, and I'm using this fabric. So my slow stitch project is just little 10-inch squares of whatever I feel like making, but it's cohesive because it is one fabric collection. I don't have any old stuff. Like, I just don't have any of that beautiful, beautiful vintage stuff. And where I don't go out much, I just don't have it. And I was sick. So I decided to use this. And I would love to get in and to the vintage slow stitching and just make some really beautiful old things and do some tea dyeing or some plant dyeing, because I grow herbs And so I could grow some or use some of the herbs I grow to dye some fabric. That would be fun. So yeah. Anyways, we'll see. So this is what I've been doing, and I love it. It's not finished. Um it just it needs something. There's something missing. And I thought about putting the butterfly on, but then it was like too much on this side. Over here, it would overlap my stitching. It would look wonderful over there though, so that is a possibility. Or I could just like stitch a tree into here or something. I don't know. So that is just gonna hang out while I figure out what else I want to do. So let me put that away. All right, so I was thinking what I want to do next, and I made a list. And I have a long list, and there's like Kawandi style and some Cantha, Burrow, maybe Shashiko, I think it's called. Let me look at the list here. It's a whole list of things. Crazy quilting, applique, English paper piecing, a mandala, flowers, leaves, and trees, maybe some thread painting like an animal. I think it's also called needle painting, but I've seen it called thread painting more. Maybe even painting on this cloth and doing something like that. Red work, monochrome, circles, words, maybe a poem, maybe just stitching a poem. Birds, yo-yos, which I already did, a landscape, a house, something seasonal, you know, just lots of themes or techniques. And so today I kind of wanted to do like a wonky log cabin. I was watching a video and I thought that would be fun. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I definitely need some supplies out here. And then I'm going to put this away, I think, for now. And then I'm going to use, let me put my stuff over here maybe. Okay. So I think I'm going to use these, and I'm not even worried about like calculating the size or anything. I just want this to be fun. So like these are neutrals. I could use those. I could do different colors. Yellows, greens. And I think I want to do them a little smaller than the 2-inch. Are these 2 or 2.5 inch? See, my brain doesn't always work, and so this is just like a creative thing I can do that I don't have to think much. And I have looked at different methods for like doing this. So I'm not like making a quilt block. I am literally using one of these for everything and putting it on to here. So I'm not sewing a quilt block and trimming it down. I'm putting it on a foundation. Everything. Doesn't matter what I make, I am putting it on a foundation. But I'm also slow stitching it. Okay, so see, those are pinks. Well, first off, we need a red in the middle because I kind of want to do it like traditionally. So should I use the bright red or, oh, I could fussy cut a flower out of a 10-inch square. Let me see That would be fun. See one I already have cut out. Could I do that? Would that look okay? Maybe this one, because it's like right there, or this one. I kind of want to do that. I think let's do that. So this is just like, it's gonna turn out how it turns out. Okay, so now I need to move other stuff. I think I just need like a really big table. I should move back to my kitchen table when I'm doing this stuff. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna fussy cut that, and then I think I'm going to, wait, where are the blues? There's blues in here. Okay, there's blues. Oh, okay, I'm gonna put these reds away for sure, because I only want that center to be red. So let's start there. I do have pinks, browns. If I could just like choose what colors I want to use, but like this is me doing this like real time. Maybe like the blue and yellow and green and pink. No, I don't like that. All right, where's my, first let's just cut a square. Let's cut a square out. Okay, now I have to decide, and decisions are not my strong point. All right, so I don't know how big I want this. I don't know anything yet, and I'm not using any rulers. I am just going for it. Saving scraps. I'm gonna have to organize that basket better at some point. Could probably have a scrap out of this if I wasn't cutting such tiny little pieces off. So this is supposed to be like an intuitive project, so you just kind of go with it. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I don't want to cut it too far, because I can always overlap a lot, but I can't add to it. I mean, I could add to it. Okay. Do I want to find the center or eyeball it? I think I just want to eyeball it. I think it goes this way. Does it go that way? I'm not sure. Okay, and I'm just gonna pin this. I'm just gonna pin it right through the center. Okay, now how do we want to do the rest? Should I just like do, maybe it doesn't have to be like a traditional block. Like maybe I don't want to put any lights in it. I don't know. I like the pink. I'm gonna take this dark pink out though, because I think it's too close to the red. No? That one is. Maybe I'll leave like that one in. I don't know. I think I'll do this. Take those, and there's some doubles. I'm going to just get those out of the way. All right, so I think I'll take, yeah, they're just kind of a little dark, so Can always add them back in later if I decide to. And see, there's just too many choices here. There's so many. All right, let's get these out of the way. I know it's like watching me like clean up my strips here. It's got to be a little weird, but it is something that needs to be done. I love these fabrics. They're so cute. And it's springtime. It's been so nice outside. Warm. I have all the windows open. I have chickens in my living room. Yes, you heard that right. I bought chicks, and I have like 3 stages that I do when I have chickens, and they start in my living room or dining room, wherever. I've had them on my dining room table. I've had them in my living room. I've had them in my bedroom. When I had them last year, I had some new cats, and I wasn't sure if they were going to want to eat them. And so I kept them in my bedroom for a few nights. And then, you know, it just smelled too bad. So I put them downstairs, and they were fine because I keep them covered. It's not like I don't keep them covered and secure. I really don't think they could get in there if they wanted to. So they're very noisy. Last year, we lost our whole flock to some coyotes, and last year, I don't remember them being this noisy, but they were so chirpy. All right, so I'm just gonna grab a strip. So what I want to do, I do want to move these over. So I'm just gonna put them. Maybe where you guys can see them would be better. How about over here? Okay, we have a pile of strips. Let's just get them a little messy so I can see everything that's here. I am not a messy type person. This is a good project for me. While it is a collection and it will be cohesive because of the colors, getting a little messy is gonna really just like help me a lot. Just to like relax, lay back, just do it. So I'm just gonna grab one, and I'm gonna start with this one. And so I'm not measuring per se. But I do want to do like a little, maybe a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So these are going to be really big. So I think I want to say maybe half. I think half will be good. Yeah. All right. Well, the first one I'm going to cut in half. And then scraps, because a lot of these blocks will be scraps, and some applique and just whatever. So I'm saving down to the bittiest. I will probably do maybe like a string block and, oh, what do they call it? With the really teeny tiny pieces. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm going to start here, and I think I just want to frame just that flower there. And I want this kind of straight-ish. Yeah, so I think I'll go like right there. All right, and so I'm just trying to see like how much I need. I guess I could get my little roller out. I'm not good at measuring a 1/4 inch, so we're just gonna go with this. And hopefully that's a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna put that a little sideways there. Open this up, and I'm gonna pin this down. And then I'm just gonna sew along this crease with some of this thread. So I'm just tacking it down. I don't want to call it basting, but it's kind of what I'm doing. It's more like along the lines of basting, because I will do something to this at some point. I don't know what I'll do. And I'm not even sure I want to use knots in this, but I use knots in everything. So you know what? I'll put it through the back. I'm going to put knots. If there's any knots, I will put them through the back. And I'm going to start just a little bit over because I'm going to cut this off. I've never started through the back before. I guess I need to... Where do I put my anchor stitch? This is going to be so much fun. Number one, I have never made a log cabin. Second of all, I've never made a wonky log cabin. And I don't do things on foundations. So, yeah. And so that I don't even think, like, I'm just kind of, I guess I'll do like a normal stitch, but if I end up doing like every seam, like with decorative stitching or just even straight stitching or something, I feel like I really don't need to make this seam more than a base. But this is, you know, I'm going with it. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I am not ashamed to admit that. Okay, so for this, I'm not going to tie a knot. I'm just going to back stitch three times. And that should hold it just fine, especially with extra stitching. All right, I don't really need these out right now. They're just so cute, I want to use them. All right, I'm gonna leave that center pin in. I'm gonna fold this down. I love this little roller, it's so cute. And then I think I should probably pin this for now. Maybe. All right, and then I'm gonna cut these edges off straight with, well, as straight as I can. With that there. And just to reduce bulk, to reduce bulk. You don't have to cut them off, but I don't think so anyway. All right, so I already used this one, so I'm gonna put that aside. Maybe I should do like 2 blues and then 2 of a different color, 2 of a different color. I kind of like that idea. So let's grab this one. And I don't like these. I never like these edges. No fun. All right, I'm going to just overlap it a little. I love these little scissors. Where did I put my pile? There it is. So much fabric here. I have a pile like of used ones now that maybe I should put over here on this side. Okay. So I think I'm going to do the same thing. Let's see how... I'm going to cut that when I'm done sewing. Okay, I've decided. So I am going to fold this to be like a quarter-ish. That looks more like a half. Whatever. Let go of control. This is not a project of control. This is a let loose, do whatever, and hopefully it turns out all right. And if it doesn't, it still turns out all right because it'll be in a big mess of a quilt with all kinds of different blocks. I guess it's like, maybe you could call it a slow stitch sampler. I need to move this pin. I'm sure there's a name for it. I am sure I did not invent this. I have to move this too. Goodness. Yeah. I'm sure somebody has done this many times. Okay, I kind of like this one. Maybe right there, offset like that. Yeah, that'll look cute in the middle like that. Okay. So I'm going to open this up, put some pins in there. Wait, do I want them up here? Where do I want my pins? This is what it looks like to learn something new, is just kind of messing around and playing with it. And it's like totally different than like my farmer's wife stuff, because with that, I generally know what I'm doing, and there's directions, there's instructions, the pieces have templates. Like, there's some very minimal creativity involved. And I am a creative person. I have always been a creative person. It's just a little different. So I need to, let's see here. Need to start like right here. Anyways, I've always been a very creative person. I just, I think I kind of lost my creativity for a while at some point. I'm not sure what happened to it or where it went, but I feel like this project will bring it back. And if not, we'll end up with a really, really ugly quilt. And it'll probably be a lap quilt. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just making squares and seeing what happens. And yeah. I'm not even like back stitching when I'm sewing these on. Except at the end, like normally I would put back stitches in, but like I'm gonna be putting embroidery over this. Like I said, I don't know what kind of embroidery. It might just be a bunch of straight stitching all around. I have no idea. It'll come to me when I'm done and sit with it for a while. The crazy quilt part, I just like sat with it. I woke up and I put it there and I thought, well, what should I do next? And I couldn't figure it out. So I just watched some YouTube for a while, and eventually it came to me, or I saw something and, you know, had a little idea. Yeah, so this See, to me, this is messy, and I actually really like it. So, weird. Oh, I wish that would come to me, whatever that is called. Little bitty pieces. I've watched videos on it. Crumb, because they're crumbs. Like if I were to fold this, that is my seam allowance. Little crumbs. Okay, crumb quilting. All right, so I think I need to cut this the same or similar as this one. So let's just go for it. Hope that's okay. All right, so we did blue. How about we do yellow? Yellow next. Yeah, I think so. And then we'll do like green over here and then pink behind the yellow or something like that. All right. I don't want to make these videos too long, but these are just kind of me just kind of making stuff. No plan, no tutorial, you know, just yapping away, making something. I need a pin. I could do these live or something sometime maybe. Going live just makes me really nervous. And like I have a cough, so I edit that out, but like I would have to pause the cough. My cough is really loud. It's so random, but okay, what am I doing here? So yeah, I like them smaller like this. Oops, I pushed that pin. Yeah, I bet I don't even need to pin this. I probably don't, as long as I press those out good. I did not use my iron at all on this project, and I love that. I love that. Eventually I'll have to, because like, you know, to get like these out. But I'm going to go as long as I can without using the iron, because I don't like getting it out unless I have to. I'm sure a lot of people are the same way. Like, let's just not get it out. I've been doing that with the farmer's wife too, and I've had to get it out a few times. And I had started a Dear Jane for a little while, and poor Dear Jane. I think we want to go this way. I love making that quilt, but I was doing so much at one time that I burnt out, and my hands were like finished. So that is why the slow stitching, because I feel like I'm not like on a mission to finish anything. I don't know. I don't really know why. I just felt like if I'm gonna slow down, I should slow stitch, because there is a thing for slowing down, and that's slow stitching, and that's kind of the whole reason you do it. And so like right now, I am working on, you know what, I'm not even going to tie knots. I think I'm going to try the method that you just make 2 anchor stitches and then same at the end, and you don't tie any knots. And I think I should try this and see how it holds up. So right now I am working on a bear paw that is getting finished. I'm sorry, the quilt top is getting finished, and I stitched that whole thing by hand, and now I'm doing the sashing and the borders on my sewing machine, because I spent 4 months sewing those because I had so many other projects going on. And I'm really just trying to, like, I don't know, minimize my projects because I have just so many. And like in my weekly video, my vlog last week, I was like, okay, so I have one embroidery project, which I'm not counting this as an embroidery project, even though there is a lot, because it's like sewing, it's embroidery, it's a bunch of different stuff. This is just like my chill out project. When I need creativity, I'll do this. So yeah, I am working on an embroidery project. I have a quilt. So the Garden Friends quilt. And then I have, sorry, my brain is a little slow today. I don't usually talk this slow either, but my brain is a little slow. That's okay. Oh, usually I tie knots. What am I doing? 3 back stitches, I think. 2 over there and 3 over, ouch, just poked myself. What else am I doing? Garden Friends embroidery. I'm finishing Bear Paw. I do have one I'm working on for my son, which is a puff quilt that's all on the machine. Hey, look. Huh. Yeah, and then I have the sew along, oh my gosh, I've said it like 2 or 3 times already. The Farmer's Wife 1930s. Oh my goodness. I am really slow today. Wow. All right, yeah, so I mean, it's still a lot of projects, but, oh, and I have one on my quilting hoop. But this is more like get the creativity flowing. I might, you know, the herbs are sprouting, and I am thinking about, you know, when it gets later on in the season, sitting outside and maybe stitching the, oh my gosh, can you guys hear my chickens? They're so loud. They're downstairs. I'm upstairs in my office area. They're so loud. Oh my goodness. They're only like a week old, maybe. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're so funny. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I don't know what I was talking about. I have no idea. All right, let's see where. See, I'm already like almost an hour in, and I have so much. I just want to show like the whole process. Okay, so I grabbed this one, but then realized, you know, I have that one there, and I didn't really want to do that. So I think I'm going to do this one because there's a lot of these prints. Like every color except blue has one of those. Well, brown might not. No, brown doesn't. So there's like four of them. Anyways, I am sorry. I was mid-sentence when my chickies decided to get really super loud. They're so much fun. I got, trying to think, 4 Rhode Island Reds for anyone who knows chickens. 4 Rhode Island Reds. And oh my goodness, what did 2 sapphire gems. So I got 2 of everything except the Rhode Island reds, and I got 14. So I have to try to remember five breeds when my brain's not working. Let's see, sapphire gem, lavender Wyandotte, some kind of Sussex, I want to say brown. I think I got black French copper Morans. That's one that I couldn't remember after I got so excited in Agway. So I got some from Tractor Supply, and then I tripped and fell into Agway and got more. I do that in feed stores with chicks, and in fabric stores. I trip and fall into things a lot, and stuff just attaches to me like leeches, and it ends up coming home with me. Yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Oh, anyways, they had 2 different kinds of black chicks, and I love black chicks. I love black cats. I don't have one right now, but I almost always have a black cat. But I ended up with 2 tuxedo cats instead of 1 black cat. So I guess together they make 1 black and 1 white cat. I don't know. Anyways, so I think it's a black French copper Moran, or a French black copper Moran, something like that. Oh my gosh, what's the other one I got? So I have this journal and I wrote it down so that I wouldn't forget. Okay, French black copper Moran, sapphire gem, lavender Wyandotte, what I think is brown Sussex. I know there's different kinds. Oh, chocolate Orpington. Got chocolate Orpington. I've never had Orpingtons. I have had sapphire gem, and I think they're my favorites. I had the most beautiful one. How about that? Like that? This would be a good project for anyone who has ADD or ADHD, because anyways, sapphire gem, I had one in Nebraska. Definitely my favorite. The Rhode Island reds are supposed to be prolific layers, I believe. I never really care about how many they lay. I mean, I get them for the eggs. Like, that is why I raise chickens. And I got into that in Nebraska. Whoops, I'm not doing nuts. That's right. And when we moved, I couldn't bring my chickens with me 1,400 miles. So my neighbor took them. She was a old farm girl, and she was so happy to take them. And I had built a coop, and so she lived 2 houses down, and the yards were really small. So I mean, like, really close neighbor. And we loaded that thing up in a pickup truck and drove it very, very slowly down the alley and around the block. And it only fell over once when we were carrying it, and it took like 6 of us because that thing was so solid. And I had the sapphire gem, and she laid the biggest eggs. And it was nothing for us to have 2 or 3 yolk eggs. It was always fun when you found an egg with 2 or 3 yolks in it, because you just don't find those from the grocery store, but they're totally normal in backyard chickens. And a fun story, my brother, he's my half brother, and his grandparents had a farm. And so I have thought about getting meat chickens and having him and my dad teach me how to do the things. But then that's just another project on my plate. So, I mean, I probably won't do that, but I have thrown around the idea for a few years. So maybe someday. But okay, I remember now. I was talking about the stages. So they hang out in my living room and then they go to a spot in the garage. I can take this one out now. I have a space in my garage that I have a little fence in, and I put their little brooder thing out there on its side, and then I put their little heater thing in there. I don't have one of those red lamps. I used to, but they're a fire hazard, and my neighbor's house burnt down a couple years ago, and so I now prefer, it's like a little hut thing, and they go underneath it, and so it acts like the mama, because when the hens, they go and like hang out under her wings and like underneath her. And yes, I've had chicks, like from a mama, and we had a rooster. They got eaten too. So sad. But that is life, and we are going to make our coop better this year. Well, not the coop. The coop's fine. It's the run. They dug under the run. Anyway, so they go in my garage with the brooder like bucket on its side. And so like, because they're inside it right now, it's just this big massive Tupperware, like not Tupperware, Rubbermaid. And then so I tip that on its side so they can go in there. And it's in my garage, so it's safe, it's closed up. And then so when they get too big for the Rubbermaid, they go to the garage with the Rubbermaid, and it works out perfect. And then once they are fully feathered, they go out to the coop. They cannot go out until they have all their feathers. Oh, that's cute. I like it. All right. Yeah, this one needs to stay in. That can come out. It's adorable. I love it. I have no idea if I did it right, but cool. I'm going to do green next. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, then they go to the coop. Let's do this one. Don't have one of, oh, but then that'll be next to it. I think I only have 3 greens, but I do have a, like this could act like a green maybe. Anyways, what was I doing? Not that one. These 2. Yeah, so it takes a while till they're on their own in the coop with no heater, but they really like the garage. And then I can let them out during the day. They know to go back in. They just, you know, they, yeah, they just can't be out there at, you know, at night. Oh, this is going to be so cute. Maybe not wonky enough, but yes, it is wonky enough. It is. Okay. And I might make this one a little bigger, because I'm kind of feeling like, well, let's fold this first and then we'll look at it. See if I do it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut them a little bigger. They're almost maybe too small. I could probably do like more like 1/8 of an inch on this one. Like seam allowance. just have to try to remember to put a little extra on that. So I'm going to tilt this that way a little bit. All right, cool. Now, again, I forget what I was talking about, so we're just going to keep putting these in the wrong way. This is such a fun project. I love this. It's kind of taking forever, which I like, and that's the whole point. I probably won't get anything else done today, and this will take me a few hours. So I think I'll maybe do a couple more, and then yeah, I've been on here for like an hour. Let me have some coffee. It's definitely coffee time. So, yeah, I think I'll do one more round, and then I'll probably get off camera for a while and come back when I have this whole thing filled up. But it's just such a good little project for fall. I mean, fall. Oh my gosh, it's spring. A good little project for spring. What a day. It's, yeah, we've been sick, and so my brain is still recovering, obviously, from the brain fog. My son was home for 2 days, and he went back to school today. And yeah. I think that's far enough. I don't want to go too far because I don't want to cut the edges off. This really is so chill. Like my farmer's wife videos, I'm like just so perky and yappy. And like this, it's just like, hey guys, what up? This is real life. This is real whatever, real something. Real brainless but creative. I like brainless but creative, which it really is, because it's more like a feeling than a thought, I guess. Like, I don't know, once you get started, it's like I didn't know what I was doing at first. I had the red, and then I thought, okay, blue, then yellow, and then it was like, okay, and the greens are going here, the pinks are going there, then the browns will go here, the creams will go, you know, it kind of fell in place. That's really curved. Well, it'll get covered up. I'm not gonna worry about it. This is definitely wonky though, which is so much fun. Okay, is this too small for a crumb? I'm gonna save it because I don't know anything about those. Okay, so I want to cut this a little bigger. Maybe just a tiny bit bigger. Maybe they'll get bigger as we go. Like, they grow. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no clue. Okay, where am I now? This way, right? Do. I have to put the pins in right, or these get in the way. Well, it's gonna get in the way no matter where I put it, I guess. Okay. I don't want to match too much, so leave that there. Oh, this one. I wanted to do the screen. This one. My terrible accent. I've been told I have a Pennsylvania accent. And it is strange because I never thought Pennsylvanians had accents. But I guess we do. And when I lived in Nebraska, they said some weird things. They said wash for wash. Not everybody. More like the country folk as opposed to the I want to say city, because like what they consider a city is like a town to me. Like my city I lived in was the same size as the town I grew up in. And out here it's unincorporated, I think. Yeah, so a little different. Anyways, so more of the country folk out there say wash with an R for wash. And they say roof for roof. And let's see what else. Oh, tournament. Out here in Pennsylvania, we say tournament because it's a tour, a tournament, right? That's my logic anyway. I could be wrong. Very likely wrong. Kind of want to go that way on that one too. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, so a little different. See if that's enough. It is. And so I started saying tournament, and now that's what I say. And now I think tournament sounds funny. So yeah, different places. If you're not from the US, you can drive 3 hours and hear a totally different accent. No, I'm sorry. From me, where I am, 2 hours. So I was a Girl Scout camp counselor one summer, and it was about 2 hours north, east or west of State College. I can't remember what side of State College it was on, but it was called Camp Golden Pond, and it was a Girl Scout camp, and I taught canoeing and photography, and I think I did mountain biking, maybe. I don't remember. But the canoeing I remember because I love canoeing. I actually built a canoe, too. I've built 2 canoes out of cedar strips. They're fun. Google cedar strip canoe. They're so cool. They're actually a fairly beginner woodworking project too. They're just so big and they look so complicated, but they're not difficult at all. I mean, I did it. So, you know, anybody could probably do it. Anyways, so up there, they say yins, yuns, and yous. Yins, yuns, and yous for a group of people. Instead of you, it's yins, yuns, yous. And I believe up there they say pop. And where I'm from, near Harrisburg, it's soda. In Pittsburgh, I think it's pop. And in Philly, I believe it's soda. So, I mean, We're not talking just different states. We're talking within one state you'll have different accents and slang and all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, it's fun. Oh, the one thing that gets me though, don't ever call a Reese's a Reese's. There were some people in Nebraska, one of my really good friends, one of my best friends out there, called it a Reese's. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. It is a Reese's. And I could tell you a story how I know for certain that's how you say it. I mean, without watching commercials and stuff, you know, because obviously they do it. But that might give out a little too much information about me. You don't like to, you know, I like to keep some semblance of privacy, even though, you know, you see my face on here and stuff. But I can tell you for certain, without a doubt, it is Reese's. And if you call it a Reese's, we can't be friends. No, I'm kidding. I was very good friends with someone who called it a Reese's. It just drove me nuts. It's like nails on a chalkboard. It's kind of funny. Which, you know, I guess it doesn't bother me anymore because out here everybody pronounces it right. Because, you know, I live very, very, very close to Hershey, where the Reese's factory is. Although I don't know if they outsourced those or not. I heard they changed the recipe. How disappointing. I haven't had them in a long time. I used to not like them, and then I started really liking them. But when I was a kid, I was into Kit Kats, and so my sister, who loved Reese's, would give me all her Reese's Halloween candy. Would give me all her Kit Kats. I'd give her all the Reese's because I didn't like them. But then I started liking them, and now I'm afraid to try them because I've heard they've changed, which there are still Reese's alive today. I think they would be disappointed. But, you know, is what it is. I'll save that. Anyways, rambling on. Oh, my video's getting a little too long. I need to stop and save it before continuing, or I will run out of space on my computer. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Took about a 10-minute break. For you guys, it's only a few seconds. Let's see, where am I? Coffee. I am coffee. Well, the amount of coffee I drink, I probably am coffee. I don't remember what percent water we are, but I am that percent coffee. So all right, I was cutting this off. Just do maybe this. I'm just really not worried how it looks. Like, it's definitely, well, when we get here, we'll have to do something with that little curviness. All right, I'm gonna take this, whoops. I think we're on this side now. Okay, I think pink will look good here. Let's see, there's a few options. Nope, just 3 options. I like the lighter ones. I don't want these to be like next to each other, so I'll put this one on this side and then that one there. That should be fine. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. So we were talking about chickens on and off. It's March. I got them about a week ago and it's March 11th. So, I would say September. Everybody should be laying by September. It's like 4 to 6 months typically. I don't know why I'm folding that. So there are breeds that lay sooner. The black Australorps that got eaten by the coyotes, they would have laid in 4 months. No, not the black Australorp. The cinnamon queens, they would have laid in 4 months. Maybe sooner. They mature very, very quickly. So if you're looking to get chickens ever and you want a bird that lays sooner than later, I think cinnamon queens are the one. Let's put that a little, maybe like that. Can't go too far down, but I want to go down a little farther. There we go. Yeah, so I would say the earliest would be July, maybe July, but I am not, like, I don't have expectations. Where am I pinning here? I did not write down how long they, like how long they take when they start, because it's not that big of a deal to me. When they lay, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Oh, I keep wanting to tie knots and I'm not doing knots. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, they lay when they lay, and I always give it 6 months, and if I get eggs before that, then it's a happy time. They're so nice to have. They're hilarious. They do really funny things, and they just, honestly, they look like little T-Rexes. They look like little dinosaurs running around. You have to do yourself a favor. You will thank me. Go to Google or, social media, wherever, and look up chickens with arms. And there's like these little wire things people buy with fake arms on them, and they put them on their chickens, and they're hilarious. It's the funniest thing ever. And I won't, get those for my chickens, but I love watching them. They're so funny. And they look like little T-Rexes with the arms. It's just, go Google it right now. You'll thank me. It's hilarious. I can't even tell you how funny it is. It just, you have to see it. It's something else. I laugh hysterically, and then I go show my kids, and then they laugh because it's that funny. I could be using a longer needle for this perhaps. That's just a sharp. Depending on the project, I use either a milliner. I always call them milliners, but I think it's milliner. Anyways, or I use sharps, so it depends on the fabric and how it glides, and yeah. So the sharps did not work well for like my bear paw because it's very thick fabric. It's quilting cotton, but you know, there's some are just thicker. And then like the Farmer's Wife, I use a sharp. They're really stretchy. I guess stretchy. They're more stretchy than thin, I guess. They might be thinner. But because most of them, yeah, no, they are stretchy because these are not nearly as stretchy as the 1930s ones, and they're also jelly rolls. And I didn't know, but apparently, like, depending how you cut fabric, that's how stretchy it is, and I never knew that, and apparently that's a thing, and I just never knew that. I guess I never noticed, and so I had no reason to know. Ooh, I cut that close on that side. Oops. Anyways, well, we'll figure that out. I guess I should maybe be a little more careful how I'm cutting these. Anyways, chickens, yeah. My cats don't bother them. When they're like little, they're downstairs. My cats love to sit on the chair in the living room and peer down in there and just watch them. They just think that's great. But for the most part, they just, you know, outside, I have cats that go outside and they don't care. I have one outdoor cat. He comes home like every 3 days. He just uses us for food. He hates being inside. He comes in the winter sometimes for like more often. He'll come home every day, and sometimes he'll even sleep inside, which I like because it gets cold. But let's see, I think that'll work like that. Okay. I need to cut longer strips. But in the summer, the fall, the spring, it's nothing for him to just desert us for 3 days and then come home like, where's my food? I'm gonna put it that way because it has this print right there. So kind of want it going the opposite way. Ah, I don't know, maybe. What do you guys think? Should I go the same way? I almost want to cut a strip that doesn't have that on it, but I think it's pretty much everywhere. Actually, that's different enough. Let's do this. There we go. And then I can fold it on that and, or fold it over here and cut some of that off. Okay, I like that better. What was I saying? Something about my cat. Anyways, they leave the chickens alone. They don't eat them. They don't chase them. They just kind of chill. They watch them sometimes. It's dogs you have to watch out for, especially if you free range your chickens. You have to watch out for the dogs. And the coyotes, which are basically dogs. There's a guy on social media who, he doesn't have a pet coyote, but he's got like one that I think he probably, I don't know if he rescued her or what, but If you look up Weave the Coyote, I call them coyotes or yotes, but Coyote. Oh, I forget what his name is, but I watch. They always come if I'm scrolling, which I'm trying not to scroll anymore. But every now and then, Weave pops up, and she's so fun. She's practically domesticated. I mean, not enough to live inside, you know, but yeah. I could never hunt coyotes because they look too much like my German shepherds. Not that I can hunt anything. Oh, see, look at that. Tying knots is just so second nature to me that I keep forgetting I'm trying a new method of not tying knots. I come from a hunting family, basically. My grandpa hunted. My uncle hunted. I think my other uncle hunted too. We have five boy cousins in one family. They all hunted. One is still an avid hunter. And now my brother hunts. One of my brothers, my younger brother, he brought me a deer once. And I learned how to do all the gross things that come with hunting. Yeah, I'm not that person. I thought I was. I had wanted to hunt since I was about 20. My uncle gave me one of my grandpa's old bows. The same, I think he had two of them because my cousin, my oldest cousin, shot his first deer with that. Well, his first bow hunt, his first deer with a bow with that bow that he gave me. But and he said it was that bow. My cousin said it was a different bow, but like the same bow basically. So either way, it was an old bear model. I don't know, maybe the 60s, 70s. I have no idea. Whenever compound bows like became a thing. So I shot with that for a while, and I learned to shoot on that. And then I got myself a real hunting bow, not a real, they're all real, a more modern one. And then I, started learning to shoot on that. And I love shooting. I really love that. It's very relaxing. It takes all the stress and tension away. But I realized that I cannot mentally deal with hunting. I have always wanted to, and my cousin pretty much taught me everything you can teach out of the field. And then I just realized I can't do it. And then, my brother bringing that deer over and hanging it in my garage just kind of solidified oh man, I felt so bad for it. Yeah, my kids love venison though. Yeah, my family, we always had it. If it didn't come from my grandpa, we had some at my grandma's, and then, my uncle would bring some. I can't remember. I think he brought it for my grandparents, and then they made it into stuff, and we ate it. And grandma made meatballs, and it was venison. I think a little bit of pork and some ground beef. It was like this mixture. And so, anyways, yeah, I really wanted it to be my thing. I was very passionate about learning about it, and it's just not me. And that's okay, especially now that my brother hunts. He shares. So that's good. This is turning out so cute. Oh, I'm loving this. All right, and so I think what else this is kind of an afterthought. Could probably trim up some of these to make it less bulky, but I don't really have anything that has like too much on it. So I'm probably not, did I roll that? I think I did. It feels like I did. Oh, I sewed that down. I sewed these down. Goodness, Willow. Willow's having a day. Anyways, I feel like these could be trimmed more. And I'm actually going to measure here because I think I'm doing way more than 1/4 inch. I am not a good judge. Oh, yeah. So I'm doing almost 1/2 inch. If you can see that there. Yeah. So my 1/4 inch, eyeballing it is 1/2 inch. So that's, does this look right? Yeah, okay. There's just, it's this first piece that goes on here, you know, because it's the same. And then they get, it's just this first piece throws me off. So now I'm thinking, oh, this piece is the same, but it's not. It is, it's right. It's good. All right, so I think I'm going to keep going on this, and I will come back and like when I have this finished, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do next, because I really don't know how I'm gonna stitch this, but I would like to find out. So I'm gonna finish this, and then I will I'll put up another video or something. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this video wise. I'm just kind of going with it. So we will we'll see what happens. All right. All right, I have found my way to the edges, and I thought I would come on here and just do these last couple pieces. Now I did sew this one on, and so because this is wonky and I didn't center this perfectly, you can see where normally you would end with the blues. I'm not, because this one went to the edge, but this one didn't. So anyways, I'm on to yellow, and I have the ones I haven't used over here, and I have had to draw from my used pile over here. So yeah, I am just putting these last few on. I keep I didn't try to tie a knot until I turned the camera back on, and then it was like instinctive to tie a knot. Okay. Anyways, well, first I did cut this last piece. I did cut that to, you know, I just flipped, I pinned it and turned it over and trimmed it up. That will matter. And then I have been wearing my little thimble tape. It just helps a little bit. It also gets stuck sometimes, but I'm not worried about it. And so like for this, I'm starting like lined up with it. I'm not sewing this piece. I did the same over here. But I also didn't sew off the edge here, and I should have. So I have to remember not to cut that off, because I will cut, like, I'll trim this off here and then I'll trim this right here. So I'm going to sew all the way, but I'm going to start right here. And this is just kind of what I figured out. Ow. I'm always poking myself with this needle. This is just kind of what I've figured out as I've gone along. Again, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And it's actually been extremely calming. I've put a couple anchor stitches in. Like, I'm not doing perfect stitches or anything. Again, I could be using a longer needle, but this is working just fine. So, like, I've been putting 1 or 2 in anchor stitches on these longer pieces, but I'm still not convinced they're necessary. And I am making bigger stitches. So, like, here, I'm going to do an anchor stitch here, and then one closer, you know, to the last third, I guess. But where I'm going to stitch over top of all this, like, probably not necessary. But then if I decide not to stitch over something, I guess it would become necessary. So there's that. Now I forget, did I do one on this side? No, I did one there. Oh no, there. I did one right there. You can kind of see that. So do a few more and then I'll put one in. My anchor stitch is just like a back stitch. You can hear my dog laying down. He loves to be near me. Don't you, Jagger? Yes, you do. He's staring at me like I have a bag full of TREATS or something. And I don't have any up here. Anyways, that anchor stitch is just a back stitch, just an extra little stitch, and it just kind of holds everything in place so that it doesn't move. Because if I were to pull this string tight, it would pull up into the anchor stitch. Where did I put it? Right there. But ow, I poked myself again. But it wouldn't like pull all these. I mean, I guess if I pulled hard enough, it would, but for the most part, it's good. So I'm going to sew all the way to the edge. That should be, well, let's do 2 smaller stitches. All right. You never want to go straight to the edge, you know, because then it'll fray, or it can fray. All right. So I'm going to do 2 back stitches here. No, 3. I'm doing 3, right? That won't be long enough. I'll get rid of that. Okay, and then I am going to, well, I'm going to cut this off first. just that extra there. And then I am gonna just trim off some of this excess here, which is probably unnecessary. But the less layers I have to sew through when I start embroidering or stitching or whatever I decide to do, the better. So all right, now I'm gonna pin this pretty close to the edge. And by the edge, I mean this edge, not this edge. And you can feel it through the fabric. And then, it's so cute. I'm gonna leave this for now, but I'm gonna trim off this edge. I'm gonna use my bigger scissors since I'm at my desk. I got new ones too. My others were getting really sticky. And it was, when you're doing the, what's it called? The farmer's wife. Sorry. What's it called? I've only been doing it for like 3 months. There's a lot going on and like a lot of pieces in some of them, and so the stickiness of the scissors, it starts to hurt your hands. Oh my gosh, this is so adorable. Okay, so I think I'm not sure if I want to do yellow again or if I want to end like this with like all the colors. Let me look at that, see how that looks. I think I like it, but I don't like this one because I have 2 of the same print right here. But I do like that. Let me see what else I have. Where's my mouse? My screen goes dark every few minutes, and so I'm always moving my mouse to keep it going. All right, so definitely this green, and then could do a cream, maybe, or one of the pinks I already did. I think I like that better. You don't want to do another brown because the brown's right there, but I think pink would go good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I like that idea. Okay, so that pink, I think. Oh, well, let me look at the other one too. Oh, no, because I have the same print. I don't want to do that. So the only other thing I have is like another yellow, but that would be like too much yellow. Oh. Oh no, that's the one I'm using. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to go with brown. Okay, yeah, it's decided. All right. So I'm going to cut this like just a little longer than, ooh, is that going to fit? Yeah, it'll be, that's going to be tight. Okay. So Might have to go right up to the edge on that. All right, anyways, I'm gonna cut this. I don't like those edges there because they have holes in them. All right, I'm gonna cut it bigger than I need because things shift. But we don't want it shifting. I'm just gonna throw this over there. And then, okay, so I need to do like half of that. All right, I have to fold this one pretty small. It's probably gonna be an actual quarter, unlike my 1/2 inch. That's why I measure everything in my other quilts, because otherwise all my seams would be like 1/2 inch seams. Because I am not good at eyeballing it. Whereas like my dad taught me woodworking and he can totally see measurements. Like totally see them. His dad, his stepdad was a carpenter. So like he just has an eye for measurement. And I'm over here like, I can't. I can't do it. Oh, there's my bad accent again. We Americans sometimes like to do accents, you know, of British English, Australian English, any kind of English that's not American, or even English that is American, but like Southern, you know, like country accents. Yeah. So sometimes I'll do a funny accent. Don't mind me. It drives my kids mad. They're not a big fan. But I think I'm hilarious, you know, of course. Oh my goodness. I need to fold this like perfectly and I don't want to mess it up. But I need to pin it over there. Okay, I got it. I just have to hold it there. Yeah. See how that goes. All right. If it moves a little bit, I'm not too worried because I'm gonna sew all these together at the end, with or without sashing. I have no idea. And that is something I won't decide until I'm done, which could be never. Could be, I don't know, anytime. I have no idea. All right, so that's gonna go. I don't know why I don't just cut this off now, but I'm not going to. Uh-oh. Oh, my dog started yapping. Oh, that's my bead needle. That's why that was so hard. Where did I put my... It's a needle I use for putting beads on. It's really long. Here, I'll show you the difference. Here it is. Okay, so that's a sharp. And this one, the long one's a bead needle. So yeah, it's quite big. It's also hard to get my thread in. Anyways, I stick that in there because beads, yes. I did some beading on the other one, and I use seed beads, and I'm just not sure if they'll go through, if the needles I use will go through them. So it's just easier to use that one and not have to question it. I do leave a tail. I'm not sure if I leave enough, but that's how I learned, so that's what I do. I learned 2 ways, and I think I might mention both ways in my learned a hand sew tutorial that I did a long time ago. And by a long time, I mean like, I don't know, a couple months ago, because I've only been at this YouTube thing for like 4 months. So anyways, I love knots. I knot everything. I knot my embroidery, and the embroidery police are gonna come out and be like, why do you do that? Well, mostly because I make quilts and they're going in the washer at some point because I have 2 dogs, 3 cats, 2 boys, and now chickens. So my stuff gets filthy. So I wash all my stuff. So I prefer knots. I do not, I don't know, it just feels more secure to me. I have never put something through the wash that has no knots like this. But you know, we'll see how this holds up. And, you know, I do have a lot of family. And so if somebody decides they like something that I make and they want it, they, you know, they're welcome to it for the most part. I mean, I think there's some, you know, I probably wouldn't give away. But like the first quilt I ever made, I actually made for my parents, and it has pictures of my now 18-year-old all over it, from when he was a baby. So that was a really fun one to make. But yeah. There are, let's see. I mean, my parents don't have any animals right now. I don't know if that quilt's ever been washed. So like, there is a potential that if, you know, if her or my dad like a quilt I make and they, you know, I give it to them, that it'll never go through the wash ever, except the first time to get all the animal hair off it from my house. So there's that. But at my house, the more they're used, the more they're washed. So it is nothing for them to get washed a few times a year. And I feel like that's a lot for a quilt. I don't know. I know some people never wash theirs, but again, I have animal hair and teenage boys. So, oh, I need to anchor this. Okay. And it's just nice to wash stuff and freshen it up every now and then. So there's that. And I just always like to wash them at least once, because I love how crinkly they get. Some people don't like the crinkles, and I love crinkly quilts. I think it just adds so much character to them. And it, like, I don't know, when it's crinkly, it's like, oh, the trademark of a quilt, I guess. I don't know. like a distinguishing characteristic. For me anyway. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I am leaving these pins in because I am going to go around and just baste these edges. Let me get my big scissors again. They don't need to be... What pins am I using? Oh my goodness. I have to put something over here yet. So I'm just going to put one there. And I'm going to cut this off under here. You know what? I screwed up. I mean, I didn't screw up, but I want to cut some of this excess off before I pin it down. So there's that. It's a nice chunk there. And I'm not going to worry about that. All right. Now I can get this pinned. And I can't remember what I was saying. Sorry. And I'm going to put one back in here. If I can get it in there. Goodness. All right. And I will flip this over to cut this one off. I might just trim this. Does it really need trimmed? Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. All right. Last one. And my hair is on there. And I'm just going to do it a little bigger again. All right. I'm going to need a bigger basket for all this. Look at this. So I have all these. I have another roll I won't get out till this one's whittled down. And then I have all those 10-inch squares. So, I really like it in a basket, but I'm not, if I'm going to make videos of what I'm making, it doesn't really have to be in a basket because I won't be taking it downstairs to work on it. So I will see, I'll see what I end up doing. I mean, that is if you guys like, you know, this video of me just talking. No music or anything, just my thoughts and ramblings and talking about chickens and hunting. And I won't talk about hunting because I don't hunt. But there's my story about it anyway, how much I wanted to. I still love shooting my bow. We like to go to the range too, and that one's so big. Yeah, it's fine. We like to go to the range also. I'm kind of hoping one of my kids gets into hunting. Maybe my youngest will. My oldest has been out a couple times with a friend. I was really wanting to turkey hunt. If anything, I could do that, right? No, I couldn't imagine that either. It just felt so sad. Yeah, I'm just a big wuss when it comes to animals, so I've had to cull chickens before, and it's not a happy time at all. My one rooster, crockpot. I had 3 roosters once, and I named them roaster, crock pot, and I can't remember the other one. Was it air fryer? I feel like it was air fryer. I can't remember. But yeah, so they all had names of where they were going to go when they got older. Because roosters, when you get roosters, you know, you don't need more than one unless you have a ton of chickens. And I did not have enough to warrant more than one rooster. And so I gave them proper names. There I go, tying knots again. I feel like this is not the most appropriate topic for sewing, but although I wouldn't consider myself a homesteader per se, I'm gonna sew this one the whole way. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna start at the edge here, just in from the edge. Anyways, I was talking about Crockpot. Crockpot got really mean and he attacked the neighbor, and then he went after my kids, and he went after me, and so Crockpot had to go in the crockpot. That was not a fun experience. And although I would absolutely love to have meat chickens, I don't know if I could do it. It's a lot easier to buy meat at the grocery store and not have to deal with the reality of where it came from. And I love homesteading. I can't say I homestead really. I love the idea of homesteading. I don't have much land. I have enough for the chickens I have. I could probably support a goat. But if you have one goat, you gotta have two. But I don't need any more animals. But yeah, I went off on a ramble and lost my train of thought again because that's what I do. Anyways, I do like canning. I do like growing food. I love my garden. I don't always take the best care of it, but I try to. My youngest son really likes gardening, and he has eaten carrots right out of the ground, washed off with the hose. And tomatoes right off the vine. So this year I am thinking of doing more herbs because I really don't think I'll have the energy to do the canning this year. And if I do anything, it'll be like applesauce because we all really love applesauce. And I don't have apple trees. I buy the apples from a farmer's market. It's a pretty big one. What's it called? Ruts? I think it's Roots. I don't know. It's in Lancaster County, I think. I want to say maybe in like Manheim. It's quite a ways away. But the apples are great, and they have lots of different kinds, and you can buy them by the bushel, which is what I need when I do applesauce. So that's an all-day affair. So I will probably think about doing that. I have to discuss with the children. And, well, the youngest really, because my oldest will be going off to college. But if I do anything, it'll be that. I grew corn one year. That was so much fun to grow. Oh my goodness. I did, I think, a 4x4 square of corn. I had a lot of stuff that year. I had like 37 tomato plants in a tiny little garden because I do the square gardening. So everything's raised up and you can plant stuff closer together because it's getting like a powerhouse of nutrients out of the soil mixture. And where, you know, we have septic, I don't really want to plant in the ground. There is a quite a bit where I could plant in the ground, but I don't know where the neighbor's septic is then, you know, so I don't know if that side of my yard's okay or not. So I use raised beds to be on the safe side, and it works great. All right, I'm gonna cut all this off. See, I don't know if you're supposed to go under this last one because now, you know, this one overlaps too. But yeah, I don't know. Someday when I make a full log cabin quilt, I'll find the answer. Oh, whoops, I don't want to cut through my stitch there. Let's just do that. A little odd, but... And we'll get the excess off by going like this. Anyways, feel free to tell me the proper way to do it if you would want to. You do not have to. Oh, anyways, I was saying earlier something about if you guys like this kind of live, no plan, making decisions as I go type video, let me know in the comments and I'll probably continue doing them. I'm not brave enough to go live yet. I'd really love to do something like this live where people can just like show up and chit chat, but I'm not brave enough. I need to get brave so I can do it. Oh, I need to pin this. I feel like I would get super nervous and make a ton of mistakes or something. But yeah, that's just something I've been wanting to do since I started. I just haven't. But it would be really cool to just hang out. But it would also have to be during the day because my little gremlins are home in the evenings and on weekends. And I would prefer to do it while they are at school. I guess in the summer it wouldn't matter too much. It would just depend on my schedule. Which way's the... Yeah, that's the top. This is really big. I kind of feel like I should stitch some wording in here, like a poem or a Bible verse or something. And I still don't know if this is the top or if this is... I really think it's this way because those are coming out of it. Maybe there is no top. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to stitch like some kind of wording in here. Either that or do some applique shapes. See, now I'm just thinking, and I have like a couple hours to work on this. So, well, I think I'm gonna get a cup of coffee and then I'm just gonna baste around the edge. I'm not sure how much I have, not enough, but we'll get more. Yeah, we'll just start with a fresh one. All right. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I want to do here. There it is. I was losing my needles. I have actually lost needles in my couch before. My couch is leather. Fake leather, I think. No, I think it is real. Well, whatever it is. I am going to put a knot in this. And I'm just going to come up through the back and just do a running stitch all the way around. So I'm going to start here. A little more. I think I'll put like one anchor stitch in. So just like that. And then I'm only just, I guess a basting stitch would be, you know, longer, but this is what I'm doing and it works just fine. This will get taken out. This is just to hold the edges in place while I do the stitching on it. So, which I don't know. Ow, did it again. I am always poking myself. Again, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I did have that idea of a poem or a Bible verse. Maybe I might look up one. See, I love Poe, but Poe definitely does not vibe with this. That would be more of a, you know, a vintage. Poe would be really good for vintage. Not really sure if I feel like the Bible goes with this either. Well, maybe I won't stitch anything in it. Maybe I will. I don't know. It did turn out super cute though. I'm really loving this just go with it thing, you know, just make something. Want to make a log cabin? Make a log cabin. Want to make a rail fence? Make a rail fence. Trip around the world? Sure. And so there are no rules. None at all. I will work on this block for a couple days. Let's see, what day is it? It's Wednesday. So tomorrow I have to go to a lacrosse scrimmage. I'm gonna turn these so I don't poke myself as much. I say that, I'll probably still do it. Let's see. Yeah, Thursday is lacrosse. I think that's it for this week. Next week there will be 2 lacrosse games. Although I only go to the ones that are at home and that are really close because I don't drive and I have really bad anxiety. And so, and where there's so many, they've played games 2 hours away. As a matter of fact, their one playoff game, no, not playoffs, state? Was it states? I don't know. Anyways, they had to drive to the other side of Pittsburgh, I think it was, for their game last year. So, yeah, there's that. But anyways, my parents, one of them always goes. And so they take me and my younger one along. So we always make it to the games that are close by. But it's really, I know my limits and I have been working on my limits, trying to widen those limits, spread out, you know, go a little farther from home. And I did that for football. I went to Gettysburg. It's about an hour, I think. It's like I have to have an escape route. And so Gettysburg was not too difficult because it was only about 20 minutes from my sister's house, maybe a half hour. I'm not really sure. I want to say her house is like halfway. So like there was somewhere I could go. And when you have agoraphobia, it's not so much being afraid of going places as it is like not having an escape route or you know, having a massive panic attack in public, or being in a place where it's funny because it can either be too many people or being somewhere where there's no people and then there's no help if something were to happen. So it's a fear of the unknown and I just don't really know how to describe it. A lot of people think agoraphobia is where you just don't leave your house ever. And while I did go through a period where I did not leave my house ever, I was able to move across the country because my brother and my dad came out to help us move because my husband had epilepsy and I fairly newly diagnosed, and he was able to drive, but you know, it's a long, grueling drive, and we used to do it in one shot, and that's about 22 hours straight through. Or, you know, take a nap in State College before heading down, which is, you know, about, I think it's like 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. Sometimes we just have to stop for an hour somewhere. Yeah, so long drive. But, you know, I had my family there. We had our dogs, you know, we had a U-Haul and our truck. So I was fine. I had, you know, my people. And noise lately has been really bothering me. and I think that's a great thing. I have heard other people have the same issue. I went looking for answers when I had to start wearing headphones at football games. So when it's really noisy, I need to wear headphones. It it's really kind of hard to explain what it's like. But my brain can't focus on two things at once when there's like extra noise. And sometimes the noise gets so overwhelming, it will send me into a panic attack. So yeah, that's fun. Anyway, so I was able to get to football games after, well, the first year and Katie's barking again. Katie, quiet. Quiet. She's so yappy. She would bark at a leaf. Yeah, the first year we were here, I missed a lot of sporting events, but I was able to manage to start to get to certain activities. And now I can pretty much go to everything. I just can't go by myself because I need that like escape, you know, that person. I have been places by myself. It's very difficult. I do manage. I've been learning different techniques that help. Oh, she's gonna start barking again because the bus. But yeah, it's not just not leaving home. It's, you know, you get out there, you do stuff. I just don't go too far. And it's good being here because there are places I'm very comfortable because I grew up around here. So it is nice to be home. All right, there we go. So yeah, agoraphobia is fun. All right, let's see here. Wow, this is adorable. I really like this. Oh, my camera's crooked again. There we go. Yeah. Now I just have to sit with this for a while and decide what I want to do, what I want to stitch. See, if I hadn't fussy cut this, I probably would have done like a little applique flower or heart in the middle. It's upside down again, or is it? Maybe I will put them on point now. Let me get my other one. They're so different, but I really feel like all of this will really go together. I still don't have anywhere for the little butterfly. It's so cute. Where did I learn to make that? Oh, it was on an embroidery channel. So let's see. I've been watching Marion's World, K3N cloth. Wait, oh no, what is it? Cloth, not, oh goodness, I can't remember. Anyway, she, her name's Catherine, but she uses K3N cloth tails, K3N cloth tails. And then the other one, which maybe, hopefully this stays if I open my browser and go to YouTube and look real quick at, Oh, Sarah Humphrey Embroidery. That's the other one. And I think that's where I learned to make the butterfly. Uh-oh. What did I do there? Okay. I'm still here. Yeah. I think it's Sarah Humphrey. Humphrey? I'm not sure how to say that. But there was a tutorial on how to make these, and then she put wire antenna on, and but I'm gonna sew mine to a block somewhere. Not on this one, probably. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, nah. It's probably gonna be on a different block. But yeah, I think this is gonna be super cute, and it's just gonna have, that makes me want to put sashing in it. But yeah, it'll just be a bunch of blocks of whatever I feel like making. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll do line stitching like I did here on these, or I may just, oh, see, I really like this though. I really like this. Or I could just do like the Cantha, is it Cantha, Kawandi, Boro, just the straight line stitching all the way. That could be very meditative. Start here and just like keep going in a circle. Oh my goodness. That would be wild. I might do that. Ooh, I could do a circle. Do you think a circle would look good? And the circle just goes out. Oh, that would be trippy. There's something I haven't said in a while. That would be trippy. Oh boy, takes me back to high school. Okay. Yeah, maybe a circle. I don't know. Pretty cool though. That would be some very meditative, slow stitching, just doing a circle. I have done a circle and it's very difficult to like keep, yeah, I don't know. I think I would have to have some kind of, I could use my thumb. It'd be pretty far apart, but I could do my stitching, you know, like, it's how I learned how to do the Kawandi is you use like the width of your thumb to do the stitching. It's interesting. I don't know what I'll do. I do think I'm going to maybe upload this video today since I have the time. It's 3 o'clock. I might just edit these real quick. I think there's 3 segments to this one. It's a really long one, but I have to decide what I want to do here. If you've made it this far, thank you. I'm dropping stuff. Anyways, yeah, let me know what you think. Because the next time I stitch on this, I will probably do it on video, unlike this one. Because I just didn't think that, like, I don't know. I didn't think you guys would be, like, interested in watching me stitch and stuff, but I sit here and watch other people stitch, and they don't talk about chickens, but I do. So, yeah, you can see I did the same thing over here. I stitched around the edge just to hold those edges down. You can see it on the screen piece right there. And that way, when I go to assemble all the blocks, however big it ends up being, you know, they'll just be how they are. So I'm going to go work on some Garden Friends embroidery while I contemplate what I'm going to do with this block. All right. So I'm going to edit this video and yeah. If you watched, thanks. Leave a comment. Let me know you were here, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.